Yo, what's good, gang? Quad here. This is high key different video again. One of the rant videos, ranting about 2v8. I'm gonna be honest, it's completely off the dome. There is no singular script, no notes, no categories, because it's purely about 2v8. I'm just gonna yap about it. I don't know. Okay, this kind of stemming from the fact that they extended it by another week. I think it was a week. I don't actually know how many days it was, but I know it was around a week or so, maybe a bit less, but it doesn't really matter. They extended it. Why do we keep extending this game mode? Why don't we just add an extra week onto the time that is allotted for 2v8 to be out? Why don't we just add an extra week? Because literally every 2v8 it has been extended. I think it's been every 2v8, yeah. You know what's crazy? I know this is a personal thing of mine, all right? I know it's not the same for everybody, but I think every single time it has been extended, I have barely touched 2v8 at all before, or after it got extended. Like, I don't know. It seems so like, it's so like annoying to me when they extend it, because I'm only really talking about this mainly because it affects the queue time so heavily for 1v4. I would not care. I used to glaze 2v8 like crazy. For the first two and maybe three 2v8s, the third one was a bit iffy. And then the next one I think there's been five. I think we're on the fifth one now. The next one I was like, okay, I don't care at all. But I don't think the queue times were as bad during that one, like the last week. I don't even think it was that bad compared to the rest. And then this one, I've honestly just really disliked this one. I barely played it. I think I played maybe for a couple hours, maybe three times, or like for 3 days, maybe, if that. Like I don't know. Like one of the reasons I have not played more is because why on God's green earth does Billy not have engravings in 2v8? Why does he have boots and a bump add-on? Why? This would be fine. This would be fine even if there were a ton of pallets. But there's not just a ton of pallets. A lot of the tiles are like double the length of the normal like tile in 2v8, especially Macmillan. This is low key, kind of prefer an indoor map to Macmillan. Some of the loops are so long, you cannot play around it. Because like before, it's like, yeah, if they're a good player, yeah, you're going to need overdrive to play around the max distance of a tile with Billy, instead of just walking around it. Oh, they greeted, okay, they're dead. Or they drop pallet and you zone. But now you just straight up like can't like hit them around like certain tiles. Like, it's insane. Like they just won't buff him. They won't give him partial engravings. They won't do anything. Like, thank God he has his insta down now. The first 2v, I remember he didn't have his insta down. To be fair, it was still pre-nerf Billy. Yeah, pre-nerf Billy. It was still then. So it was still faster, of course, and you had overdrive way more, and you had it even more because of the larger maps. But still, that was a horrible iteration of Billy. I kind of miss that Billy sometimes, though. I can't lie, but I'm coping, high key. That's just me completely coping. But then the next thing is like, I know it has to be survivor sided. I'm completely well aware. I'm okay with that. But why did we give them remote control sprint burst? Or, okay, remote control is not the right word to use there. Just on demand. Whenever it's on cooldown, all right, you just press a button, bam, you're gone. It's like dramaturgy, but with a sprint burst instead. Like why do we have that? Like, that is infuriating, especially with all the pallets. Like, I know this is like a very subjective thing, but I know a lot of people that don't like 2v8. But it's fun to do. I won't deny that, but it's definitely fun. But it affects the normal queue time so much. Especially, it's hard to like, you don't really like think about it too much if you're not a streamer. Obviously you do, but you can like, if you're, or I guess a content creator in general, but mainly a streamer, you can just, pull out the phone or a YouTube video mid queue. You can't necessarily do that when you're streaming. And unless you're playing in like the nighttime or like the very late afternoon, it's just not optimal to play killer. Like say if you're doing a win streak. Like, I was watching Numinus's Dracula win streak today. They did, I think, in like 4 hours, almost 5 hours of streaming, they did like 15 games. Like what? Like I literally went through, okay, to be fair, this is a crazy like rate of like playing like DBD and like going through games. But I did 28 games in about 3 hours the other day. Like 2 days before 2v8 came out. I know that's me ending games quickly because it's Billy. And then also insta queues, which I'm not asking for insta queues. It's just unfortunate that the players, the way it like divides their like the players up throughout like the categories of you got serve, you got normal, or you got serve, you got 2v8 serve, then you have killer, and then you have 2v8 killer. It just divides. There's too many things, and like more people want to play 2v8 serve, but then like I don't even know how they like allocate, like I don't know how, like I would love to see the percentage of players, to be honest. I would really like to see like the percentage of certain players queuing for like 2v8, for 1v4, for all these. I would love to see those stats if I could, but we'll never know. But one more thing. I know this is kind of like a Scott Jund, like almost like a Scott Jund like rip-off video. It's kind of going through like the same like points that his video was, and I watched that earlier today. But it kind of got me thinking as well, like we haven't had consistent good queue times since Ghoul. And even the first 2v8, like that like messed up queues pretty badly, but then they returned back to normal like pretty quickly, I think. And then we had Houndmaster, and that was like a survivor and a killer, so it was like mostly fine. But I know I'm like jumping all over the place here, but once again, no script. This is just me yapping. I can't, stay on track because I'm kind of just me. But I hope in the next iteration of 2v8. Oh, I remember what I was going to yap about. I remember. Sorry, I'm like jumping all over the place. But I remember what I was going to suggest they not do. If you're going to release a 2v8, there needs to be a definable, completely different feature, killer, survivor wise, on each side. So killer needs like at least one new killer to play. We didn't get a singular new killer. Nothing. I think the classes got changed a little bit on killer, and I know on survivor they got changed a bit more. Survivor got blast mind, and which, why the fuck is blast mind in 2v8? We do not need all that. Survivor got the also the sprint burst on command, whatever, for escapist. I don't know if they did anything with scout or not. I don't remember. But yeah, no, they just changed the classes around. But that's really all they did, besides adding the play while you wait, which actually makes the queue times a longer. In all the other 2v8s, besides like the first like 2 days, like obviously, you could get around like 10 to like 15-minute queues consistently. Now it's like you're pushing 20 minutes plus that. Like it kind of made it worse, honestly, because more people are doing play while you wait, and then going into the killer. So there's more people queuing for killer, because they're doing play while you wait, or because you have the normal people that don't do it. I typically don't do it, to be honest, unless I play like one game on stream. Then I'll do like I'll play while you wait, or even two actually, because it's like a 20-minute queue. But I typically don't even do the play while you wait. I'm doing other things because it's such like an inefficient way to use my time to queue for. I know you can play serve, but like I'm not a serve player. I don't enjoy the role that much. It's not my main role. And kind of like the thing here is like, why do we, because of behaviors, kind of just like not good release schedule? Because we had two killers recently that have not had survivors with them. So when those killer chapters released, boom, bad queues for however long until, like a survivor released, or like, everyone like lost and didn't care at all about the killer. But I mean, I don't know. They just need to like work. I've been saying this for a while, but they need to work on their like release schedule. I might have talked about this actually. The release schedule on my big rant video I did a while back. I don't fully remember actually, but I might have like touched on this. They need to work on their release schedule, because why are we like having like long periods of times with long queues? And that's fine having long queues. It's just like we cannot go without this. In my opinion, 2v8 is happening too soon. It happens what, every 3 months, I believe? That's too soon. I think it needs to be a twice a year thing, so they can add more to it and it actually feel different the next time it comes out, because it really doesn't. It's like the same game mode at the end of the day. Like, I mean, I was talking about it a minute ago before I got distracted on something else, but it was literally like they put in one new thing, and that was to play while you wait. Everything else was just extremely minor changes. No reason to actually play the game there. And then, oh, they butchered my boy Oni for 2v8. On everyone's soul, they did this too. This was not like, I guarantee you, the reason they messed with Oni flicks to begin with and basically took away a lot of his skill expression was so that controller players could play Oni better. And why did we went around it in the worst way? And he's been changed like 3 or 4 times now, too. Like, he's been constantly changed. But they changed him. What was it originally? It was originally locked your 180s to like really slow. I think the max you could do is like 90 or something, or maybe a 180. I don't even remember. I shouldn't even be talking about this because I don't even fully remember. But whatever. They butchered him because of 2v, guarantee you. Not really sure why they had to do that and just unlock how far you could flick with controller. That's really all they had to do. They didn't have to touch him in the first place. Maybe they did for like, coding's sake and, behavior janky code, but maybe they had to. I don't know. They just went around that in the worst part. But this is mainly just me yapping about Billy, to be honest. Billy is so like, the one reason, I know this is also a me issue. This video is about me. I don't care. It's my video. I can talk about my feelings. But he feels so bad to play in 2v8 compared to, 1v4 publics. I know that's because I have my crutch iridescent add-on. First of all, it shouldn't even be an iridescent. It should be a purple, but whatever. Besides the point. It should be low pro, switch with engravings. Whatever. Who cares? But we should have at least some sort of like, maybe even like a green engraving in 2v8. I don't need much. I just need a little bit. Because he is so unfun. That or give me low pro with all the palettes at this point. Like, I need something for Billy. Billy needs some sort of change in 2v8. He takes too much skill, in my opinion, to be a weak killer. And I'll always stand by this statement. And yes, this goes for 2v8. I don't care. Every other killer got a ton of buffs, and Billy got 2 things that barely matter. Yeah, the turn rate is amazing in 2v8. But at the end of the day, that is like, not, like, who cares, bro? We don't have engravings. Like, who cares? I know so many Billy players that would immediately switch off everything just to have engravings. They would give up any add-on just so they can have engravings. I know that's like kind of like a crutch thing, I guess, but it is what it is. Like, I mean, there's not much I can do about it, I guess. I don't know if I have anything else to yap about besides just 2v8 being bad. I don't know, at least I'll be grinding YouTube more. This is completely unrelated, but I'll be locking in more on YouTube. Because my internet is so bad that I can barely stream consistently anymore. So that's great. I will not be taking the Billy World Record win streak because of that. I really wanted to try for it, but that will not be happening anymore because I cannot stream consistently. And if I can, my mentality is just in the gutter. My mental is just in the gutter because I'm constantly getting packet loss. I know my stream is dying while I'm getting said packet loss. It's just not fun. And it makes it horrible to just do anything with. But it just means I'll be locking in more on the YouTube grind, I guess, which at the end of the day, in a content creator perspective, it is more efficient for me to grind YouTube, even though I honestly enjoy it less than streaming. I love streaming. I would never want to quit it, but I don't honestly have that big of an option. I kind of have to, unless like, my streaming just dies 24/7. But honestly, it wasn't even streamable last time I streamed. Anyways, this was a 2v8 rant video, but it turned into me ranting about other things that aren't 2v8. I don't really have anything I don't think I have anything else besides it should be like once in every 6 months, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it should be every 3 months. I think that's a bit too soon for them to actually be able to put in like a large amount of effort to where feels like an actual update from the last time they played it. Because Play While You Wait is not good enough, in my opinion, for them to just release a whole another iteration of it. And I thought it was going to save 2v8, but it really didn't. It made it worse, in my opinion. I think it made it worse, to be honest. I think the queues, like, there's no longer any waiting out the queue. Like, you're either doing nothing or, like, doing literally everything else in your 2v8 queue. or you are just playing play while you wait. I don't know. The queues got to the point where it's like, I don't know. It went from like 10 to 15 minutes to like you're not getting under 20 minutes for a 2v8 queue ever. But I don't know. Maybe that'll change on the last week of 2v8. Maybe. But I think that's it for today. It's kind of just me yapping. Maybe, you know, my actual Billy gameplay will be on the B-roll footage and the big 720p because my net sucks. But yeah, anyways, I will see you guys later. I have some cool new video ideas that I'm excited to work on. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it a lot.